Hey everyone, this episode of the podcast is sponsored by Shooter Lube. Join the revolution and go to shooterlube.com and you can save 10% at checkout if you use the promo code SINGER. I'm not going to do the whole read today because this is an extra podcast, but I did want to say that if you have a small business or an internet-based business, or you're thinking about advertising on the podcast, hit me up. There's a few other podcasts in town too. Give us a call, shoot me a message, DM, whatever, and we can talk about rates and all that kind of good shit. My guest for the podcast today is Randy Ankarlo. He's been on the podcast a few times actually already. Very funny guy. I really like hanging out with him. Just a sweet dude. Stand-up comedian here, based out of Minneapolis. I'm not gonna tell you what we're gonna talk about because I don't know what we're gonna talk about. But I have a feeling it might involve Screech from Saved by the Bell. Anyways, we'll just keep it short this time. Let's give it up for Randy Ankarlo. Yeah, let's make sure we got our phones off.
That's a spam that I'm getting right now.
Stalker? Is that what you call stalkers?
It's like a spam. It's a bot. I bet they're trying
Flora? So you don't know anyone named Flora?
No, they're probably trying to talk about my extended car warranty via Facebook.
They're calling you on Facebook Messenger.
Once in a while, I get a MySpace phone call.
That's hilarious. MySpace is calling you. What?
Oh shit, it's my extended warranty. My truck's been around since MySpace was a thing. It's a 1995. So, it's old enough that it was in the MySpace era.
Well, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, it just clicked. And then it was gone.
Are we coming back?
Oh, there we
go. What the hell was that?
Remember that last time when we did that, like we were 15 minutes? Was that the first time? And then we found out that...
Yeah, I think I forgot to unmute us for like the first...
first like 10 minutes.
Fuck, dude.
That was funny.
Well, cheers, buddy. Thanks for coming
so
down.
Good. Thank you for having me.
I'm super hungover.
Oh, not any different.
I didn't do any drinking with Ezra last night. I had 2 beers on the podcast, but I also drank a water in between.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I went beer, water, beer. So I didn't.
You did the smart thing.
I didn't even have a buzz by the end of it.
Right.
But I was so excited and I had so much fun with them, and I got a lot of positive reinforcement. A lot of people reached out. Hey man, great podcast. That was easily the best one you've done. Like several people actually reached out to me, and so I'm high on adrenaline, like I always am after a podcast anyways. And so I just got on a bunch of phone calls. Kevin Dick came down and hung out with me, and I was slowly drinking all night. Like I didn't do shots or anything. I poured a tiny little bit of fucking the Centauri whiskey, the Japanese whiskey. And I sipped that while I had a couple beers, and man, I was up till 4:30 before I was finally able to fucking go to bed.
Right.
Like, I almost had to get so drunk that I passed out from being drunk. Just because I was so excited and had so much fun. It was a big day for us yesterday, you know?
That's huge, yeah.
We got so much, dude. Man, I'm so excited. I can't really talk about it, but we got plans. Like, we got big plans, and there's shit's in motion. I can't talk about everything, but I'm just fucking pumped, dude. I'm so excited. Awesome. So, yeah, this is going to be a weird podcast. I hope nobody's, like, expecting fireworks, because I'm fucking hung over. But we were talking before the podcast. Yeah, all this fucking UFO shit. I haven't been able to keep up with any of it, dude.
I haven't seen. So what's going on with these UFOs?
I don't know. I've been hearing about it. Like apparently there's more sightings. They're like,
is it the government releasing these or what?
No, they're sightings, like documented sightings from more and more people, continuing to be credible. I shouldn't really even try to tell you as much as I'm telling you because I don't really know. But I've been hearing about it from friends. Like, man, this shit's wild, dude. Blah 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 blah.
Oh.
But yeah, it's just been a whirlwind of fucking the podcast and booking and working on it. So I've been kind of in a vacuum, man. I'm kind of out of it. I haven't been following politics. I haven't been following any of this shit.
That's good. It's good though. Get away from politics.
What have you been up to?
Back to doing stand-up.
That's good to hear.
Well, I did the House of Comedy when the very first week that they opened back up. I was there.
That's the one at the mall?
Yep, Mall of America.
Fucking shithole. We did this last time.
Yep.
I'm not saying the comedy club is a shithole. I'm saying the Mall of America is a shithole.
You're not wrong. I swear.
I understand why they have a comedy club there. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
However, it's definitely the worst place you could have a comedy club.
Also, yeah. It was great though. Three of our 5 shows were sold out.
That's amazing.
That holds like
when was this?
This was 3 weeks ago.
Awesome. Good for you, man.
It was great. There was it holds about 250 people, I think, and so sold out is at like 100 people.
So how long of sets are you doing already now that you're back?
That was perfect. So the way the Mall of America does it, so they have a host, and then they have a middle, and then the headliner. Right. So normally the host would do like 15, middle would do 30, headliner would do 45 in a normal comedy show, but this one's weird. So they have the host go on and do 15. Then my spot, the middle, I go on and do 15. Then the host goes back and does 10 more minutes, and then the headliner.
Oh,
so in this
that's kind of cool.
Club, the host is a more important spot than where I was at.
That's kind of cool, actually. Because I do understand, and I've come to figure out that in the comedy scene, it's a big deal to host a show like that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to work to get to that point, and that's still one of the lower rungs of the totem pole. But
Right.
that's kind of like, once you're good enough to where you're hosting a comedy night, that's when people start giving you real opportunities because you've already paid your dues. You've already been in it's like 7 years-ish average that it takes you to get to that point.
Yeah.
And then over the next 3 years, you like get your opportunities to pop.
Yep.
Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I would say that's 100% true.
That sounds right. I mean, I'm not a comedian, but I follow so many of you guys and I listen to you guys so much. I feel like I know what it's like to be a comedian. You know, it's like, fuck. I take a lot of inspiration from you guys' strategies as well. You know, you guys have adapted, maybe not you specifically, because we were just talking about that before the podcast. Like, but we'll help you. We'll step up your game, dude. We'll tighten your ship up. Like, we'll get you there. We'll hook you up with some of my guys, and it'll be great. But
That'll be
a lot of the ideas that I'm trying to implement and coach people on, I actually took from comedians like Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura and Joe Rogan and
so much
Andrew Schultz.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, just so many of these comedians, and I'm not talking about the Kevin Harts and the Dave Chappelles. I'm talking about the normal guys that figured out a way to make it in this version of this world, which is balancing that online presence.
That's so
some
big.
version of a podcast. You know,
right?
You're doing your whatever. You're doing your stand up. You're doing music. Like, and not everybody should have a podcast like Rogan says. But everyone should have some sort of online presence, like a Twitch channel or a YouTube channel, where you're doing something and incorporating that. Because basically, is what you're trying to do. John Wheeler talks about this. We're trying to monetize your personality.
Right.
That's what you're really trying to do.
My biggest problem that I have...
This fucking Bloody Mary's got me sweating bullets, dude.
Yeah.
It is so spicy.
It actually is. I was thinking that same thing.
Holy
That's why
fuck.
I was sipping this Blue Moon. I was like, oh, shit.
Dude, like, I'm sweating bullets, dude.
You are?
Holy fuck.
I can handle spicy things. I'm half Mexican. So it's just what we do. But it's pretty spicy.
I love spicy shit. I just sweat a lot when I drink or eat anything spicy. But I love it.
That's good.
I keep doing it.
My problem with Facebook, I gotta stop, is it's like getting too many political fights, and then I decide that it's time to get off Facebook, so I delete it for a week.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a punchline there.
I was thinking about one, and I was like, there's not. I say stupid stuff, and then I get mad, and I'm like, I don't need to do this. I don't need to fight with people. So then I take it off my phone, and then, and then I restart like a week later. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to post funny things. And then that happens. I post something, and then fight with somebody again.
I'm curious, how many sets a week are you doing?
Lately, I've been doing probably about 3. Anyways, there's
It's not bad in our town.
Not right now, no. For what's closed and what's open, I've been going out.
Even when shit was at the top, you could maybe get 5-6 sets in.
Yeah.
It's not LA or New York where you can bang them out.
Right.
It's
yeah,
just,
you can do like 5 or 6 a night.
Yeah, it's not happening. You can get away with 1 a night here.
Yeah, especially
just too
right
spread
now.
out.
It's. I mean, with everything closing at 10, yeah, there's no way. So I think 3 a week right now is pretty good, and that's more than what I was doing before. Even before, I didn't go out as much as I should have. But
I want to start merging our 2 scenes. I want to get the music scene more involved with the comedy scene and vice versa.
I think, the Crane is a good place to do that. They do music before comedy, so
that's stupid. That's a terrible idea. You need to do it in reverse.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I've never had music open for me before.
Who fucking made that idea?
Yeah.
No.
You do.
There's only 2 ways you do this.
And then you do music afterwards.
Or there's only one other way to pull this off. Or you somehow find a high energy comedian like Jim Brewer or Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
Or John Wheeler. High energy, loudmouth, fucking riot. And you have them MC the show.
Right.
So you have a comedian come up and do 20 minutes to warm up the crowd.
Right.
And then your band goes on. And then they come back on while the 20-minute changeover is happening.
Yep.
And it's either the same comedian or a different comedian. You know, if you do it the right way, if you think about it like this, you have the first comic, then you have an opening band, and then another slot for a comic. Second band, another slot for a comic. Third band, and then another slot for a comic. That's 60 minutes.
Right.
Like, all you need to be able to do as a comic, if you're one guy, is can you do 60 minutes and chop it into 15-minute sections? If you can do that, boom. Because
if you have 2 comics, that's perfect.
Right.
2 every other 15.
Yeah.
It works for that. When I first started, I opened for these guys were like the Blues Brothers. They were Blues Brothers cover band. And I had to do like 10 minutes in between every single one of their sets. And they must have done 4. So I was trying to do 40 minutes. It was at a casino. It was awful. And I was like a year in. So I did like 2 of the same sets to the same people that were in there.
Wow. That's got to be fucking weird, dude. Because here's the thing is like, I love you. Yeah. Like, we're buddies. But I would never, ever hire you to do that. Right. You're way too low energy.
I would not.
You are so chill. You are so chill. Your comedy is one of those guys where, like, you're going to have a hard time just following a high energy comic unless people are there to see you. Yeah. Like, if people are there to see you because Randy's the headliner that night, then you're going to be able to follow anybody.
Right.
But if you're on an open mic situation where everyone's doing 15 and you come up after somebody who's fucking bringing the house down, it takes somebody 5 to 10 minutes of your 15 to just get the energy level back down and start getting it.
Right.
I watched this happen.
Yeah.
I watched this happen in real life. I was immediately, as soon as you went on stage, I started chuckling at your first joke because that shit was so subtle. I felt like I was the only one in the room listening. Everyone else was still coming down off the energy from the previous comic.
Right.
So I'm like chuckling my ass off in the back of the room back by the bar. And this was the night we met. And then,
oh man,
is what I thought was hilarious is it took the rest of the room 5 or 10 minutes to catch up.
Right.
But that's not because of your skill. It's not because of any of those things. It's because of the energy difference. So I would never hire you to fucking open or jump in between and MC a bunch of fucking metal bands.
Right.
Like, what? That's a terrible idea. I need John Wheeler for that shit. That loudmouth fuck.
Oh, that's funny. the other thing I hosted one time and did comedy in between rappers up in
That could work.
Duluth, Minnesota.
Rap could work. Because that crowd's different. The volume level
they
of the
hated
music.
me.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's like, to me though, that's just like doing another comedy show though. Like, it's hit and miss. Sometimes you're like, wow, that crowd fucking hated me, or I wasn't on that night or whatever, right?
Right.
I would book you for a hip hop act. That would make sense because you can do that because that music is loud as it can be.
Yeah.
It's not. Well, it depends on the hip hop act, I guess.
There was my roommate was a hip hopper. He got pissed when I called him that. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, what is this?
He'd get so mad.
What is this? 1982? Okay, boomer.
What are you gonna?
A hip hopper.
Oh, those were good times in Duluth when I was young, and we found out that so we lived with one other guy, right? And he owned the house, and our house got foreclosed on because
you want to know something funny?
Yeah.
I forgot to make this public.
Oh shit.
It's fine because I'm gonna make it public right now. And we're also literally still 20 minutes early because it's still slated for 7.
Oh, that's perfect though. They can jump in now.
Yeah, it's public.
They'll be able
People will watch. They'll jump in when they jump in.
Oh, that's
Let me
fine.
throw my thing in here.
Get views.
So we just now made this public. Realized we were doing this podcast unlisted, which is my fault. But I'm hungover, guys. Throw your comments in the chat, and we're not going to go super long. We're only going to try to do like an hour and a half, 2 hours tonight. Which actually, that's a great segue. Actually, that's kind of a beautiful fuck up because we're going to go to an open mic tonight.
Yeah,
I'm not going up.
You're not.
Fuck no. You fucking kidding me?
I was hoping you would.
Why would I? With what material?
We'll write stuff right now.
Okay, let's write a joke right now. Seriously, let's write a joke right now. How do we do this? So I'm curious about this. I can't write jokes to save my life.
So what
Everything
subjects?
funny I ever say or do is 100% improv.
And on this podcast.
Most of them are on this podcast now, but it used to be in between songs on stage. And then I was like, man, if I took all of these
that
bits,
last time.
Yeah, and literally that's where like, and I guess I could try to do that, but
do you want to? What do you want to? What do you want to write a joke about? You want to?
Okay, is that how it works?
No, you got an idea. I mean, let's start with what happened outside.
Okay, so I'm snow blowing. Because it's Minnesota and it snowed, and the wind is
already
blowing.
Right there. If you slow that down, and you say, "So I was snow blowing," because it's Minnesota and it snowed, it's already gonna get a laugh right there.
Really?
You got to slow that down. Shit? Yeah. You just say it slower. That's it. That's all it takes. And then you just look at people, and then they'll laugh.
In the fucking the wind is blowing violently to the east. I mean, like, it's bad. It's a really strong wind. And that's also the street side. That's also the street side, by the way.
You're on the western side, and it's blowing into the
street to the east. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to try to shoot this into the yard because I feel bad, Yeah. But the wind is so strong, it grabs every snowflake that I am shooting into the yard and blasting it directly back into my face and then onto the cars next to me anyways. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to have this frozen ice face thing going on. I'm going to put the snow in the street where it wants to go anyways. I can't control the wind.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Well,
I just pictured you with an angry face, like just snow blowing anyways, with it going back into your face, just angry.
Dude, that shit, no. It's,
like
it's more of like
every fish that you see in the SpongeBob.
No, it's more of like an overwhelming, like, almost like you just got punched in the face. Like you're snow blowing, and then all of a sudden you like make it past a house, and the fucking wind kicks in like a tunnel.
Yeah.
Like a test tunnel.
Yep.
And it's like it grabs that snow and it's like, oh, and like I have to stop. I have to let go of my snowblower. I have to turn around, pull off my glasses, wipe my face off. My entire face is instantly frozen.
I get that. I get where you're coming from today when I was just brushing my truck off. Just brushing it off, and when it blows, it blows into your face, and you get mad and you hit the truck with the...
I mean, there's a million cliches. Don't piss into the wind, right?
Right.
Shit like that, right? So I go with the flow, quite literally, and I'm like, all right, we're going to throw the snow over into the street because that's where it wants to go anyways.
That's gonna.
Well, some dude came out, and he's like, hey, motherfucker.
So he came out of his house.
Yeah. Well, not his house. Not his house. Nope. He doesn't live here. He's not from this neighborhood.
Okay.
He visited somebody on the block.
Okay. So
I don't think he was here for legitimate purposes. I think he was here to buy crack cocaine. But I don't actually know that. I'm just fucking around.
He's not listening.
What house was it?
What if he's listening right now and he's like, that
what
motherfucker?
House was it? I got $50. What house was it?
I don't have $50. I might lose them.
So motherfucker comes out and he's like, hey, motherfucker, blow that shit into your own fucking yard. And I'm like, dude, the wind is blowing that way. I can't get it to go that way. It's going into the street. And he goes, I don't give a fuck. Blow that shit into your own fucking yard and not onto my truck. And I'm like, I'm trying to explain to him, dude.
It doesn't listen, man.
I can't control the wind. The snow's going to go where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't control this.
I need it out of my driveway.
He's not listening. So he starts aggressively walking towards me. And I mean aggressively, like not one of these things where it's like,
talk.
Yeah, not one of these things where it's like, hey, we're going to stop yelling at each other and we're going to I'm going to come over there and we're just going to have like a civil. No, like he's screaming at the top of his lungs as he's coming at me. So literally he comes onto my property, right?
Yeah.
And I hold out my arm and put it on his chest. And I'm like, back the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're not taking another step.
Right.
You know, I may not be the biggest dude in the world, but I am 6 feet tall, so I got a long reach.
Yeah.
And so I put my hand on his chest, like, because now this motherfucker can't hit me in the face, right? Right? Like if he does,
at least you can.
And then he keeps walking towards me.
So is he pushing you backwards?
Yeah. So then I'm like, I start pushing him, and I'm like, and he's like, get your hands off of me, and I'm like, get the fuck off of my property, motherfucker. And then he starts putting his finger in my eye, like I'm not touching you, and I hold up my arm.
He did the not touching, can't get mad.
Yeah, I'm not touching you,
Can't get mad.
So I hold up my fucking hand while I'm on his chest, and I'm like, get the fuck off of my fucking property. I swear to God, I'm not in the mood because I'm hungover, dude. Like, and you just came at me aggro. I got headphones on, by the way, or earbuds in, so I can't actually understand anything until I take off my fucking earbuds.
Right.
And all I'm getting is berated, right? So I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, if you would listen, I'm not doing this on purpose, dude.
Right.
Like, the snow is going to end up on your car
no matter
where I try to throw it. It was like, it felt, I'm probably exaggerating, but it felt like a 20-mile-an-hour wind, 30-mile-an-hour wind. It was just ridiculous.
It's not a normal.
It was just ridiculous. I remember before I snowblowed, when I ran to the liquor store to grab Bloody Mary stuff because we talked on the phone, I remember getting out of the car and being hit with a wall of wind.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck. And I was like, it's not even that cold, but holy fuck, this wind is ridiculous.
Right.
So, yeah, long story short, I almost shot this dude.
So did he end up just leaving? Did he just walk away?
So he walked back to his truck talking shit. Right, and then he opens his door and then goes back to the back of his truck. So I'm like, okay, I can't turn my back to this dude.
No.
Right? So I'm not going to just keep snowblowing, but I also can't just like run inside and grab my fucking AR-15 because I'm not leaving my snowblower out here running, right? So I'm like, so I stop. I just let my snowblower run, and I just turn around and stare this dude down. And he pulls out a broom and starts brooming his. And here's the other thing.
That's the best way this story could have ended.
Here's the best part.
A broom.
Here's the best part. If he would have had some fucking patience, guess what I do? I bust out my leaf blower and I come out and I blow off all the snow that I just threw on your car.
Right.
Because it's all dust in the air how it gets there.
It is.
You know
it's
what I mean?
not heavy. It's not heavy. It doesn't make like a
I
freeze.
come out and do exactly what he just did, but he never gave me the chance to explain or be like, dude, I got you. I'll take care of it. None of that. It was like this dude wanted to fucking start a fight and I was gonna beat the shit out of him, dude. Like the
In
way
my
he
mind-
came up to me, the way he came at me, and I held out my arm, and he like my hand hit his chest, and he kept walking towards me, and I had to back him off of my property. And then he starts doing the fucking this thing. So I hold up my arm. I'm like, I will fucking end you, dude. Like, we're done. I got a job to do. So he gets in his truck after all of that, and then he fucking drives by real slow and rolls his window down and starts yelling at me again. Only I already got my earbuds back in. I'm snow blowing, and I'm like, all I said was some version of on loop, fuck off, get off the block, you don't belong here, go eat shit, go fuck yourself.
Go do your drugs,
dude,
buddy.
Leave the block, go on with yourself. Get your scary ass out of here. Like you ain't intimidating shit. Walk on, mother. Like, I just kept running my mouth. Like, and I can't hear him because I already turned my earbuds back on. I just see his mouth moving. And I'm just like, fuck you, bitch. Like, fuck you. Fuck you. I seen what house you came out of. Like, as soon as you go back to that house and you try to tell your boy how fucking he's going to go, don't ever fuck with that dude again. White boy's cool as fuck. White boy's got our back. Do not ever disrespect that man again.
Do not ruin this for us.
Like,
all
and
right?
I think it's hilarious because he's the ignorant one.
Yeah.
He's the one, because I know what they think. They think, oh, punk ass little white boy. This is my boy's house. I came here. Fucking my boy runs this block. Like, no, your boy doesn't run the block.
No.
Your boy doesn't run the block. We run the block. Like, I'm the one who they call on when they're like, all right, what do we do, man? Like, how do we handle this? Because ain't nobody trying to go to jail. How do we do this the right way? And I'm like, all right, here's what we got to do. Like, we got to set these motherfuckers
up. My favorite part probably of this entire story is he has a broom in his truck. He's just aggressively, I hope, just aggressively sweeping off his...
That's where I don't know. See, and that's different, though, because that's like a story, right? So all you're doing is telling a story and then figuring out how to make it funny.
You
but
tell
writing
a story.
A joke where you like start with a premise, that's what I'm saying. I can't do that.
But basically it is just storytelling.
Really?
All you do is you just take what you just said and you condense that down and you keep what's absolutely necessary.
Bill Burr and Rogan talk about, they say, trimming the fat.
Yeah, that's exactly. I laughed at that whole story. That's just me, but.
Yeah, but you're an idiot and you think I'm funny. You laugh at everything I say because you're a fucking moron, just like I am. That's why I'm such a fan of you as well.
You're an idiot.
I mean, let's just be honest, dude. If you think I'm funny, you're a moron. I used to say that too.
That's
Somebody
not
be
the
like,
first time. That's the third time I've heard you're an idiot today.
That's the third time today.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
That
For
is
me,
definitely, I hear that.
If you turn around and say it to me right now, go ahead.
You're an idiot.
That's the fourth time I've heard it today, and that's real. First was my wife this morning.
Yeah.
Then it was my roommate later today. Then it was that guy out there. And then it was this hipster I almost hit with my car when I went to the liquor store. True story. That's actually true.
What happened with this guy? Is just walking in the road?
He just wasn't looking. There was an ambulance coming, and I was stuck in the intersection to take a left. And there's an ambulance that was coming, and then all of a sudden, like 2 blocks away on Lowry, he turns his cherries on. And I'm like, dude, I cannot be here. Right. I gotta go.
I gotta get out of this.
So I'm not panicking or going fast. I just start moving. And this fucking idiot is walking with his phone.
I imagine
like,
he had
looking
a
on his phone
in one hand. And
no, he had one of those like wraparound backpacks.
Oh god!
You know, he actually looked,
with like the one strap.
Yep, he actually looked really cool, but he was an idiot because he's walking across the street while there's a siren coming, while he's looking at his phone, taking his sweet fucking time.
We'll probably see him at the comedy club later.
So I start going like this. And he keeps walking, and I'm like, dude, I got to get in front of this guy. Like, he's going too slow. I can't wait for him. I got to beat him.
Yeah.
So I go, and I make sure, like, it's really soft. And I just happened to have my window down because I was smoking a cigarette as I'm doing this. And I fucking go like this, and he goes, idiot! And I just looked at him, like, as I'm turning, I'm like, really, dude? Like, really? Really?
That's the most offensive thing you could have said.
Like, dude, really? You're the guy crossing a traffic street while looking at your phone.
And I'm the idiot.
Idiot! So where are we going tonight? We're going to the Terminal Bar?
The Terminal Bar.
There's an open mic there?
There's an open mic, and there's probably...
If you guys ain't doing nothing, you should come hang out with us down at the Terminal Bar.
Come to the Terminal.
Where's the fucking Terminal Bar again? Is that by that old...
It's by...
Is that by... What's that place they used to do the goth shows?
Ooh. I
You know
don't
what
know.
I'm talking about. Ground Zero.
It's by... Let's look this up real quick. It's probably about 10 minutes from here.
It's a pretty good Bloody Mary. It's spicy.
Oh,
as fuck.
Yeah, it was definitely spicy.
It's spicy as fuck, bro. My face is on fire.
It's about 11 minutes. So here it is.
You're one of those
Look at
guys,
this.
when I ask how far something is, you measure it in time.
I look it up.
You look it up, but you measure it in time. It's about 11 minutes away. I didn't ask how long it takes to get there, Randy. You son of a bitch.
Well, most people are like, it's a straight shot. But I like to know
As the
time.
crow flies.
That's
Well,
Minnesota.
I'm not a fucking crow, bro.
Straight shot,
No,
35.
where is it, though?
It's here.
Just show me the map.
It's off of University, kind of. So that's...
down on 5th. It's like 5th and University.
Did you see that text? It said, "Hi, Jared."
Who the fuck is Megan?
That's my girlfriend. She dropped me off here.
How did she time that text message?
I know. She knew right when I was... Oh.
Like, literally, you handed me your phone, and it goes, "Hi, Jared."
She watches what I do.
Stalker. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Megan. I'm sweating balls right now, dude.
Me too.
I feel like a 45-year-old woman who's having hot flashes.
Yeah.
Oh, my heavens. I'm sweating like a Georgia peach.
A 45 in 1945. Whoa. She said I'm good.
I don't know what anybody's talking about right now. How did she?
Idea.
Why would she text you and say hi, Jared? And how did she know that I was going to be looking at your phone at that exact moment?
How'd you know that, Megan?
That's crazy. Oh, she said because I'm good.
I guess
She's good at what she does. Yeah, apparently.
She's about to... I feel like we're on a Ouija board right now.
Dude, I am so hungover going into like another buzz that I'm not even sure like what we're doing. This is fun.
Idea. This
is
is
just
fun.
a shit
This
show.
is the most fun I've had.
This is an absolute shit show. But it's been a long week. There's a lot.
It's been a tough week.
I've been working really hard the last month on the podcast with all the shit that's been going on, man. So I'm glad that we're not trying to fucking actually like do a whole thing here. Makes it a lot easier.
No, this is good.
So is there anybody else that we know that's going to be at the terminal?
There's a few people that I saw last night that'll be there.
Are they good?
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd be like, nah.
There's gonna be a lot of shit people there. Let's be honest.
Oh,
This is it's been weird going back to stand up because I never was one to go to open mics a whole lot, you know? And now there's tons of people there that I've never met that are like a month or a year. Basically, if they're a year into comedy, they're a month in because of COVID.
right.
They didn't get to. So it's been really weird. I met one guy last week. I was at the terminal, and he's like, "Oh yeah, last time you were here, I gave you a ride home." And I was like, "Oh shit, I don't remember that."
He's like, I do.
Yeah, he knew who I was, and I was like, "What? Oh, thanks, I guess." I made it, and I didn't know. I had no idea how I got home that night. Too many Bloody
Woo!
Marys.
I am sweating bullets, bro.
You gotta go on and tell that one story tonight. You should do it.
No way.
All right.
No way. I gotta, dude. Because the moment I walk on stage, I'm gonna want to do good.
Right.
Which means, understandably, I know I'm gonna bomb. Fine, I get that. I'm cool with that already. Point is I'm gonna immediately go home and start working on it so I don't bomb again.
Right. So this is what
I don't have time for that right now. I need to keep doing this right now. I need to get the music thing going.
Yeah.
I need traction. I need real traction with the music, and I got to keep the podcast going. And once those two things are rolling, then I'll add in the comedy.
Okay, that's a deal. I'll be waiting.
And honestly, that's why I backed off of it in the first place. It wasn't fear. It wasn't intimidation. It was just like, I'm not ready. I don't have time.
Yeah.
I just don't have time right now. And and like, I just think it's gonna be. Dude, I'm sweating so much. It's so ridiculous. I need cigarettes. I need cigarettes and drugs. Where's the weed?
Where is the weed?
Where's the weed? Who's got the weed? Oh fuck. No, I'm glad you invited me out tonight, dude.
This will be fun.
Yeah, because I gotta meet more comedians. I need more comedians to come on the podcast. I'm sick of talking to metalheads, you know.
Yeah, we'll see.
No offense to me and my metalhead friends, you guys. I love you guys, but like that's not really. It's not a metal podcast, you know?
Right?
Plus, now that Chilton's back in the fold, he's such a better podcaster than me when it comes to that style podcast, where you're really getting into the shit with the musicians.
Yeah.
I've had moments, you know, I've had podcasts that have done really well like that.
Right.
Jen Dean's was really great for 4.5 hours. We just like talked drum nerdery, right? And the video actually did really well.
Yeah.
And it was cool, but when you got a guy like Greg, who's always going to be a better interviewer than me, I'm just going to let him do it. Why try to step into his space? You know?
That's why you're better than most people. Most people are like, no, he's better. I'm going to be better. And then it just, no.
Yeah. Shout out to Greg Chilton, by the way, Ritual Madness podcast. That's who I'm talking about. He's a featured channel at the bottom of my page.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can just scroll to the bottom of my YouTube homepage, and Ritual Madness is down there. Make sure you also subscribe to the Alchemical Cocktail Lounge. Have you met John Wheeler?
No.
He got into comedy. He was a big musician. And then he got into comedy.
How long has he been doing stand-up?
So I think he had a year in before COVID hit.
So only a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think I added him.
He immediately came out of the gate good.
Yeah.
Like from day one, he was already better than most people who had been doing open mics for 2-3 years.
Probably, yeah. Probably 5, 6.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, well, anyways, he pivoted. That was my point. He pivoted, and now what he's doing is what I've been trying to talk to you, and like what I'm trying to convince you to figure out how to do is like, how do you get some version of your content online? John's doing that in a very creative way, in an incredibly creative way. He basically started a TV station. That fucking guy, it's got like 4 different things going on his podcast channel.
Wow.
Or I'm sorry, on his YouTube channel. He's got a podcast. He's got 2 or 3 other things. I can't remember the names of them all, but one of them is straight up, basically he took like 5 to 10 minutes of stand-up that you would normally go on stage with.
Yeah.
And he filmed it and then edited it down with jump cuts into like a 3.5 minute video. So it's just boom, 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 boom. No fucking like, no, let your punchline land and then wait for the laugh. Like, no, it's the internet. We don't have time for that. Boom, 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 boom. It was genius how he did it, dude. And he did it immediately. As soon as the shit happened, like I had been doing my podcast for like a couple weeks and I seen he put out a video. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. This guy gets it. Right out of the gate, this guy gets it. Yeah, now he's doing some really cool shit over there. So yeah, Alchemical Cocktail Lounge, Ritual Madness podcast, and then also my buddy Andy Altman, who has Thrash Metal Studio. Those guys are all doing what they're doing so much better than what I would ever be able to do. So I don't even want to try to step on that space. Let them do them, and I'll just continue to have random assholes on, and we'll talk shit about whatever the fuck we want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rum Dumpster Podcast. That's the name of one of them.
Rum
God,
Dumpster.
I'm a mess right now, dude. My fucking glasses won't stay on straight, dude. I'm sweating. Fucking.
If I would have came over here not knowing you were hungover, I'd have no idea.
Oh,
and you think you're a mess.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I feel like a disaster right now.
No, you're fine.
Woo! I'm done drinking that bloody, though, so hopefully the sweat's...
How are you feeling?
I feel great.
Feeling better?
I feel so good right now.
Yeah. Me too, actually.
I feel like a mess, but, like... I'm not hungover anymore.
It's so when you're hungover and then you have your first drink and you're like, oh, it's just you go from like shitty to great, all in just one.
Yep.
And it's a great feeling. Oh, oops. No. Oh yeah. I feel like we're at a nice bar now.
Let's get classy, man. Got the coast.
Oh. You had
What's wrong with
you
me?
had a napkin.
Oh, I was using a napkin. You're right, huh? Forgot about that. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I'm sweating so much my glasses won't stay on my face. They're starting to just fall. Jesus.
They just slip right down.
I'm just a shit show right now, dude.
You're fine.
No, but I'm glad you invited me up to the open mic because I think it's gonna be fun, man.
That's gonna be great.
I want to go out and I want to meet more comedians. I need to get more people coming on the podcast that I'm not just hitting up on fucking social media because I stumble across them. You know, that's fine. But
I feel like this place. I don't know the crowd that goes here yet. I've been here maybe 3 times. The first time I was ever there, all right, there's a comedian that he wrestles. He's like a WCW wrestler, right?
Really?
Yeah, and he's small. He's smaller than me. And the first time I ever remember kind of being there, I was with him. And I'm pretty sure I spent more time. We were wrestling in the back. I don't know why we didn't get kicked out.
Okay, wait, what?
So he's like a WCW, right? And
like literally, he's in the WCW.
No.
Oh, okay, but he's like an actual wrestler.
Yeah. And, so okay. I was drunk, and I was like, well, I don't know even how it started, but I just decided that I was gonna like body slam him.
And this is at the club?
Yeah.
When was this?
This
week or two ago?
This is like a year or two ago.
Okay.
So
is he gonna be there?
I hope.
I want to body slam him now.
Yeah. It was so fun. And then like the first time I did it and I was like, oh, that was really easy. So then I think we must have done it like 5 or 6 times and we were wrestling around. And I don't know if I got kicked out. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
It was a good time.
You know you're fucking up your own. You know you're fucking up your own jokes when you get too drunk to remember what actually happened, and you just have to make up the ending.
Yeah. You're like, well, no, that happens.
God, I don't think I've ever actually blacked out.
No.
No, there's snippets I don't remember from nights where people are like, "Oh yeah," and then you did this, and I was like, "What? I don't remember that."
Oh, that's
but
my worst
I've never
fear.
lost the entire night. Like I've never truly blacked out.
Oh man. It's gonna happen.
I don't think so. I think you're either somebody who blacks out or you're not.
You think so? You think there's no?
Yeah. Because, dude, I'm telling you, I've gone to the moon. Like, I've gotten as drunk as you can get without dying.
Okay.
I've been there, bro. I'm a touring musician. Like,
that's fair.
Like, let's just be on this. Like big dick moment. Throw them on the table. Like, no, dude, I've partied with all of the partiers. Like,
yeah.
I've done it all.
There's been
That's what's gonna make me a good dad.
Times I
For real. Like listen, you little fuck. Listen, you little fuck. I don't care what you think's going on in your life at 14. I've seen and heard it all.
Right.
Like, no. I just need to know how potent this version of your drug is. Like, getting high is getting high, dude. Like,
I'm taking this.
Just stop acting like you're fucking the first one to fucking.
Oh, that's funny.
I can't wait to have kids just so I can ridicule them. I just want to talk shit to them. I can't wait to be a grumpy old man as well.
Oh, I'm already that grumpy old man that's stay off my lawn.
I derive pleasure from yelling that, get off of my lawn.
We have so with the snow, all right, we have at my house, we have a shed in the backyard. And we didn't have a lock on it for a while. And then it snowed, and I saw footprints from our neighbor's house over to our shed.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think happened?
I don't know.
You think he went in there and...
He definitely walked and stood in front of it. I know that much. But I look forward to when it snows.
Like he just walks across your yard, stands in front of your shed, and just jacks off. Like, what are you doing?
It's possible.
Maybe he pissed? No, because if you would have peed, you'd have seen frozen piss on the door.
Yellow.
Yep, or yellow snow. Yep. So no, what did he do? Jack off?
Unless he's super unhealthy.
Unless he just walked over to look through the window and then got all the way there and realized there's no window. Like, what are we? Like, what's going on right now?
Oh, I guess it's shut. Shouldn't look in. But I look forward to when it snows so I can see if anybody is looking in our shed. That's how old I am. I was like, oh shit, it snowed last night. Let's go outside and make sure nobody was looking in our shed. That has nothing for them to steal. That's my first thought every morning waking up. Just making sure nobody looked at our stuff.
You know what's hilarious though about that? Like actually it's not that funny, but it kind of is funny. It's like you never think about the types or amounts of animals that run through your yard
until
it snows and you see deer prints.
Yeah.
You see fucking like large cats where you're like, this may not even be a house cat. Like, this is a big paw print. Like, it's definitely not a dog because I have a fenced-in yard.
Right.
But then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, these are rabbit footprints. How did a rabbit get in my yard? You know, like, you start like, wait, I live in this city. How do I,
yeah.
My parents live just outside the city in like a normal suburb. But they still get deer that go through their backyard on a regular basis.
These deer living in the cities. We had I was sitting on the road the other day and turkeys, like 5 turkeys in downtown St. Paul, just walking across the road. What are you doing? I saw a goose kick a car.
Hang out northeast?
No.
You never hang out in northeast Minneapolis?
No.
There's an entire troop. I don't know what you call them, but there's a flock or whatever of turkeys that live in northeast. Wild turkeys that live in northeast Minneapolis. Like,
wow.
There will be like 30 of them. Just like walking down the street, hanging out in your front yard, like, and everyone in Northeast just lets them be there because everyone thinks it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guess what? They kept coming back every year, and then all of a sudden there wasn't just 30 of them. There's like 500 of them in like 6 different packs, and then they started getting territorial. So fucking like I'm telling you, like, this shit got out of control so fast. I haven't seen the turkeys in a while, so I think like animal control finally got involved because they were like, this was really cool for a while, but we went from having this amazing, unique thing of wild turkeys roaming northeast Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Dude, they would come and hang out in my yard. Like, I'd wake up.
That's kind of cool.
And in my front yard, there'd be 12 turkeys just chilling. Like, what the fuck? This is the city. The city. This isn't the suburbs. I live in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And there's 12 turkeys in my front yard. What the fuck is going on? But I thought it was cool, too. So I'm like, I'm going to let them just hang out.
Hang out.
Cool.
I'm gonna give them food.
And then, they just kept doing it. And then all of a sudden, like, it took, I think it was like a 5 to a 10-year journey.
Yeah.
Where I moved back to Northeast, actually to the same house.
Yeah.
And I remember when I moved in with some other people, and they were like, "Oh yeah, do you know about the turkeys?" And I was like, "Wait, they're still here?" And they were like, "Yeah, you know about them? They're outside right now." And I was like, "Oh, this is not good, you guys. Like, this isn't cool. Like this. Like, I get it, but this isn't cool because they're in the alley at this point. They're in the alley. No. They're in our driveway. They're sitting on cars.
They're coming across the street with their feathers, putting them in your eye."
So I brought Peanut out. She's 11 pounds. She's a Chiweenie.
Yeah.
But she's 11 pounds of muscle and fury, and she came running out the door, and she was going to kill all 13. All 13 were going to die. She's like, she came out. Rah, 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 rah. My translation is, who the fuck's going to die tonight? Like, dude, she chased those fucking turkeys off the block. They never came back to the house. Never.
Wow.
They were on, they literally would like peruse the block, but our house, they never came back to ever again.
They're like, fuck that house. They have a turkey meeting.
I go to Northeast like, all the time.
Don't go to that house.
They had a turkey meeting.
So I do restoration, right?
The Council of Turks.
And I went to this job it was probably last winter, okay? This lady had a turkey fly through her window. I'm guessing.
What?
Yeah. A turkey flew through her front window.
Where was this restoration?
This was downtown Minneapolis.
No shit.
Yeah. A turkey flew through the window, got cut on all the glass, and ran through basically her entire upstairs, bleeding and pooping everywhere in her house.
Running around like a chicken with its head cut off.
Yeah.
We need a new phrase. Running around like a turkey who just fucking slit its own throat.
I went to this house. The job took me an entire day. She had to take out all of her carpet. Well, I had to take out all of her carpet. We had to clean all of her walls, her hardwood floor. That was like a $15,000 job.
Damn.
Because of turkey. And my guess, all right, so I got there, and I was doing the work, and I look in her backyard, and there's 5 turkeys just sitting in her backyard. I'm guessing that she, that it was during mating season, and it probably heard them in the backyard, and it was like, I'm going to take a shortcut through the house.
God. Or maybe he was just old and like kind of blind.
Yeah, that probably is it. But yeah, right through a window. Jesus that was shitty.
Christ. It was shitty. It was
literally and figuratively.
My buddy Alex is like the king of puns.
Yeah.
So much so that a lot of people get annoyed with him about it.
Yeah. He can do a pun about anything.
God damn, he's so quick. And like he'll say some shit and I don't even realize it or get it. And sometimes it's like several minutes later I'm like, wait a minute. What did you say? How do comics feel about puns?
I feel like they're frowned upon.
Right?
I like to do them. Why not? If it's fun.
I also really like and I appreciate the resurgence of dad jokes.
Dad jokes?
Have you seen those coming back?
Yeah.
I really like them. I think they're great.
I think they're fun. I think in comedy, though, in stand-up, there's room for everything. And that's what people fail to look at. I guess it's a cutthroat, you know? Music's pretty cutthroat, right? Or no?
Yeah, no.
I just feel like there's room for every kind of style of stand-up.
Music's weird because music, like, if you have the ability to bypass the middlemen, you can get any style of music at any level of skill to be successful and profitable and popular.
Right.
The problem is the middlemen. So, like, you got to appease somebody to get your show booked, to get in front of people, to make people. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's and then there's like clicks, you know.
Right.
So it's like,
same with
you know, we don't really like those guys. Like they kind of suck. So like, then you don't let them play on your shows, and like, it gets really shitty really fast. It's kind of the same shit that goes on in comedy.
I mean, it's more dramatic than anything, and I like to stay out of it, but I also like to watch it unfold. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's gatekeepers, and that's I guess where the cutthroat shit comes in because like, and I think Rogan, when he talks about comedy, I think he doesn't realize he's also correctly describing what happens on the local. So, like, here's what I'm getting at. The overall total comedy scene.
Yeah.
So, when you hear Rogan talk about the Comedy Store in L.A.
Yep.
It's like I feel like I'm hearing about the Minneapolis music scene.
Okay.
Like the inner workings, the politics, the gatekeepers.
Okay.
All that kind of shit.
It's the same. So
it's very the same. But it's only on the local scene. Because once you get to the national level and you're successful and you have hits, like you don't have to deal with that.
Because same with stand-up, yeah. Once you hit that.
No, not with stand-up. Because Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle, the greats of the greats all admit they still need to get in front of an audience and work their material out.
Yeah. Okay. So you do. I
like,
see what
Billie
you're saying.
Eilish, Taylor Swift, Metallica.
Yeah.
They don't have to test their music out.
True.
They just have to record it.
Yep.
And put it out.
Right.
Period. There is no like, I got to go do spots. Oh, I got to make sure this works. How do people respond to this? Because a joke only works if people laugh at it, right?
Right.
No one, that doesn't happen with music. With music, you write it because you think it's awesome.
You can't be like, hey, did you guys like that song? Can you?
Oh, you didn't? Yeah. Okay, let's switch the chorus, guys. Next time, let's switch the chorus. That's not how it fucking works. That's not what music is.
I was just like that. Would it be better if I just said something else instead?
Yeah, like, how'd you guys feel about that lyric? Should I change it? Oh, man, when I sing that song and I hit that line, nobody clapped. I should make that line more powerful.
Should I go higher? Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, when I hit that note.
Is that, yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like
we don't think like that.
Where Joe Rogan is, I mean, when you have an hour on stage, an hour 15.
But he's not doing that every night. He does 15 like every other asshole. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So then, you see what I'm saying? So young comics are like, oh, but that fucking guy, like Carlos Mencia, Eddie Griffin, those guys were like, oh yeah, and then fucking he showed up and bumped me. And like I didn't even get to go up that night, and like he took my set, and then he went up for 3.5 hours. Like he didn't even let anyone go out. Like that makes you feel like shit. Musicians can't do that. No, we don't do that.
Then Metallica showed up, and they took the rest of the stage time.
Like the closest thing that would ever happen to that in music is you're playing a show, and Prince thinks you're so fucking cool. He shows up, and he just walks on stage.
Yeah,
but that's not him bumping you and taking over. That's him going, hey, I'm fucking Prince, and you guys are awesome, and I know that I can walk on this stage, and everyone's going to let him do it. And it makes the show better.
Yeah.
It's not fair to compare the two, because that's where we met was at Sisyphus, and that's where the conversation was, is like, I was standing in a group of people, and somebody was like, what's harder, music or comedy?
We were outside.
And all the comedians said, music's way harder. And I'm like, you guys are all fucking idiots. None of you make music. I can tell none of you make music because what you do is way harder. It's you alone with a microphone. Yeah. There's no instruments to hide behind. There's no music. There's no loud noises.
Have 2 or 3 other people to console you if you suck.
And the only
you've
way
got yourself. It's a very alone feeling when you're on stage bombing.
And the only way you get validation to know you wrote a good joke is with a laugh.
Yeah.
I could write the greatest song of all time and play it one night, and people are silent after it, and then play it the next night and get a standing ovation. And it's not my execution. I played the same song.
Right.
In fucking comedy, you said one word differently, and now the joke works.
Yeah.
So that's way harder, dude. The fact that you have to do it in front of people makes the art a harder form than what we do.
Yeah.
Because honestly, any good musician is like, I didn't fucking write music because I wanted it to be popular. I wrote music that I wanted to listen to. Yeah, and I got really lucky that a lot of people also like listening to it.
True.
Literally. Yeah. Comics don't get to do that.
No.
The only thing you get to do is this. And this is why not only is it harder, but I also have some slightly more respect for really great comedians versus great musicians.
Yeah.
Is your job is to find a premise that you know is funny, and then your job is to convince me it's funny.
Yeah.
And then once I laugh, you win. And you haven't lost even if I don't laugh.
Right.
That just means you haven't finished the joke yet. Because you haven't figured out a way to convince me it's funny yet. So you come up with a premise. This is what I do know about comedy, is you come up with a premise and somebody's like, that's not funny. And you're like, yes, it is. You just don't get it yet. So now that's where the challenge
is to convince you.
Need to and then do that
You're
every night across the country.
Yeah.
I can make this joke pop in Minneapolis, Dallas, LA, New York, Miami, Kansas City, and everywhere in between. That's when you're a pro. And I hear those same guys, Rogan, all talk about like, you can kill in your own town because all your fucking jokes are topical.
Right.
And everyone in that room gets it. But you're not, you don't know that you're a good comedian until you take that joke on the road to Kansas City and no one laughs.
Right.
That doesn't happen in music, Randy. Like, if I kill in Minneapolis, I kill, period.
Yep.
Like, and that's actually a terrible. That's not true. Like, I could be very unpopular in Minneapolis, but kill in Kansas City. But the point is I didn't rewrite the song.
Right.
I didn't do anything different. It's just these people are into this.
Yeah.
And you can fuck your joke up anytime. Every time you tell it, you can fuck it up.
Yeah. That's
like,
true.
If I fuck up my song is still my song.
Yeah.
So if you don't like it, I could indict my performance. I could indict you as the crowd. Like, it's not our crowd, man. Like, you know, like Solace and Ashes, my old borderline death metal band. That's how a normie would describe Solace and Ashes. They would call it death metal. It's not death metal, but that's what a normal person would be like. Oh, that's like a death metal band. If you had us open for Muse, we possibly would have been booed off stage. But then you have us open for, I don't know, I'm just going to make a band, Kill Switch Engage. And we possibly would have got a standing ovation.
Right.
There's no standing ovations in music, by the way.
Everybody's standing.
Everyone's already standing. But you get my point. I'm using a comedy metaphor. That's why I say standing ovation, because it's like
this is great.
But like a roar, like one more song.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
It has nothing to do with the song you wrote.
Right.
The difference is that crowd receptive to your sound? Did you perform well that night?
All subjective.
Whereas in comedy, it's like, oh, this joke kills in Minneapolis, but everywhere else it bombs. That's not a good joke then, right?
No, it's a local joke. Like,
am I right?
You're right. You're correct. It's a local...
I'm just saying, man, comedy's harder than music, dude.
I feel pretty good about... I don't have Minnesota. I don't have local references. I feel pretty good.
I'd say the only reason music is harder at all is because there's a physical... technical proficiency.
The guitar,
like
you gotta learn that.
You gotta physically move your fingers.
Yeah, and
like you gotta physically move your arms and wrists and fingers to play drums.
Yep.
That's the only way you could make an argument that music is harder, is because there's a physical acumen to it.
Right.
But if you just go with the intellectual side of the art, comedy's way harder. You guys, your job is harder, especially with the vulnerability. It's just you behind a microphone.
Yeah. There's times, all right, when you are doing a show, and this is what scares me. Moving on, is that like you do a one-nighter in a tiny little town, you have an hour to fill as a headliner. That's probably, the scariest thought in my mind is that no matter how awful this crowd is, you have to fill an hour of time.
You can't cut it short. You can't bail.
Nope.
Keep going. Keep telling the story. I can hear you. I got to go to the bathroom. Guys, throw your questions in here. So if he finishes his story before I get back, I know a ton of you are curious about what it's like to be a comedian. So throw some questions in here. Ask him some stuff so he has somebody to interact with. However, I'm going to be right there.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to see me. I'm going to hear you. Keep telling your story.
You want to hand me a beer as you go by?
I'll grab you a beer. You want a Blue Moon or you want a Two-Hearted?
Blue Moon. It's just terrifying when you're... Already a half an hour is a lot of time to fill when it's going bad, and you see the headliner off in the back of the room, and you know you're doing awful, and you're looking at him thinking to yourself, I am so sorry about this. This is not what I intended to do. I didn't mean to set you up terribly. and you just see him glaring at you, and you're like, I still have like 28 minutes to fill. That was just 2 minutes of time. But just doing an hour of this with this crowd glaring at you, and you have to fill your time, and you know that they're not enjoying it. It's rough. In those spots, basically, you can either, there's two things. You can either go on autopilot and just kind of ignore what everybody is looking at, or step your energy up. I think the biggest thing is that to engage them and try and talk to the audience. And yeah, I think crowd work, definitely. Crowd work is probably your biggest thing to go to. If you're in a feature spot, though, where a headliner is going to go on after you, they're going to hate you. If you're doing crowd work, they do not want their openers doing crowd work. That's inviting the audience to try and engage with them when they want to just do their material. So,
wow, no shit. Okay, so is what you're saying is that if you're opening for a real headliner, and you start doing crowd work because you're sucking,
they're going to be pissed.
Because that allows the crowd to think they can start doing that kind of shit with him.
Exactly.
Or her,
yep.
Whoever that headliner is.
Yeah, and the crowd, I mean, is great. Obviously, it's the reason that we're there. But you don't want the crowd engaging a lot. There is obviously comedians that depend on that, but you don't want the crowd just shouting things out, obviously, right?
Do you remember when I was at Sisyphus and fucking the crowd was not responding to Cody? Like, he's dropping these bombs of jokes. Like, I'm dying in the back of the room and no one's laughing other than me. And I can't remember what he said, but I was like, he asked for confirmation from the audience.
Yeah.
He like set something up and he was like, has anybody else ever experienced this? And like, no one's, and I, from the back of the room, I was like, all the fucking time, dude. And he was like, he was like, who said that? Who?
Yeah.
And he goes, you? And immediately it was like, and it was so fucking funny because, to me, it was funny because I could see not the joke that was funny. I could see the moment being funny because no one, as funny as this guy was, and people were chuckling and like that, I was the only one who was really getting it. Yep. And it's not like I'm like the best audience member at a comedy show. There was two comedians I really like got and like was gravitated towards, and I laughed at everyone else's shit, but there was two people who I consistently laughed at, and it was you and I think I said Cody. It's Corey.
You did, yeah.
It's Corey. I got another buddy named Cody with the exact same last name. That's why it fucks
Cody
me up.
Adams.
I do.
Oh shit!
I know a dude named Cody Adams.
Oh wow.
You
should have both of them on at the same time. That'd be so fun.
Cody Adam and Corey Adams.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah. I'll be here too.
It fucks with me. I also know another buddy named Cody Scott, so it's like a bunch of people with two first names. You know,
Cody, and Corey.
But I said something like, I confirmed what he was doing. I gave him some more to riff off of. And then all of a sudden, dude said some shit. And I was like, hashtag me too. And he turned around and he goes, hashtag shut the fuck up. And I was like, that's fucking good. That's fucking golden. And it was hilarious. It was hilarious because I'm standing on that side bar. And all of a sudden, he pokes his head through and he goes, hey, you're that guy. And I went, yeah, dude, I'm really sorry. And he goes, no, thank you. And he gave me a knuck bump and went back in. And I was like, I can see and then it all clicked for me. I went, oh, I get it. Like, sometimes they need a heckler. Don't be a douchebag heckler. Don't be that guy.
There's two hecklers.
But when they're struggling, give them something to riff on.
Right.
And so that hashtag me too gave him hashtag shut the fuck up, which lit the room up, which made him feel good about doing the rest of his night.
Right.
So basically, is what he was thanking me for was giving him the ability to humiliate me.
Yep.
So he could have some immediate confidence and go on with his set for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And like, perfect. I felt humiliated and I felt bad and I was kind of like, fuck, God, I'm such an asshole. Right. And then all of a sudden when he gave me the knuck bump and he was like, no, thank you. I was like, oh, got it.
Got it.
Got it.
You're welcome.
I didn't say you're welcome, but yeah, I was like, no problem, dude. You're awesome, man.
There's two kinds of hecklers. There's the fun ones that they're there and they're having a great time and they're not any harm. They want to help. They want to be a part of everything. You know. And then there's the ones that are just dicks.
People are going to be pissed if we don't get to Screech, by the way.
Is that coming up?
I'm just saying we got about 20 minutes before we hit an hour and a half, and then we gotta
roll out.
I mean, I figure if we leave here somewhere between 8 and 8:15, I figure we'll still be okay.
At 8:30, if we get there, yeah, we'll be fine.
You think you can still squeeze in and get a spot?
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll be okay then. But yeah, we should just
you wanna at
least just touch on it, dude. Because last time you were on, dude, we talked so much shit about him.
Yeah, that was hard, and
But let's be honest. Let's also be honest.
We didn't know he was dying. We didn't know.
I also don't want to make you feel bad, though, because here's the thing: is like he was not a good dude all the way up until the end. He really fucked over a lot of people.
Yeah.
He stole a joke from you.
Yeah.
And it was funny because when we talked today on the phone, you were like, "Well, honestly, man, like it was really like if it wasn't about the money, like we would have been fine." And I was like, "What are you talking about? He stole a joke from you," and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's right." So even you're doing it. Like we have this weird thing where when people die, we want to immediately fucking forget all the bad shit they did. Like it's a breakup. Like we got cheated on, and now we're like, yeah, but she was really great. Like, no, dude, she cheated on you. Like this was not a good girlfriend. This guy wasn't a good friend to you. He fucked you over and over again. Financially, he stole jokes from you. Like he ruined all of our childhoods by making a fucking sex tape based on Saved by the Bell.
Saved by
like
the
what
smell.
are you doing, dude?
So you want to hear one story though, one good story.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna be the guy. I'm not gonna be the guy who's going out of his way to speak ill about the dead. I'm just trying to be honest about the things that we did say.
Honest, yeah. I mean,
but he was your boy. You did say if it wasn't for money, we would probably be best friends right now.
Yeah, and I mean, well, there's drugs involved and whatnot on his part.
I mean, aren't there for almost all of us? Holy shit, don't move. Back up. Get away from that mic.
Oh, shit. What is that?
That's a spider, bro.
What? An albino? An albino spider?
Yeah, it's dead now.
What the fuck? Get out of here.
That's so weird. Usually... So that's another reason
he came from down here?
No, he was up there, and I watched him come down on the side. But here's the thing: is like
that. He's like, I got something. You asked me why. I got something. I like Screech.
Before we moved into, you asked me before we started the podcast why I moved into this space versus the old one. That was another thing. So I'd be sitting down there during a podcast, and a fucking spider would come down right in front of my face. Like, and I'm like, I can't be doing this with my guests. This is not cool. And so I moved into this room thinking, well, I don't have rafters now. I'll never have another spider. And like once a month versus once a day, I still see a random spider.
That one was white.
Fucking
They're
weird,
not
dude.
normally white. I hate spiders.
That's why I was like, back up, because I'm going to hit that thing. I'm going to kill it right now.
I just stopped. I was like, oh, shit. So we were in Eau Claire, I think. Eau Claire, Wisconsin, doing the show, and this was a shit show. Normally with Dustin, all right, every single crowd was sold out, and it was great. Every show was fun. Like, it would be... So, to set it, like, there was... Oh, where were we? We were in Watertown, South Dakota, okay? And I was there in, like, January with a random headliner, and there was 13 people in the crowd. I went back to that same place with Dustin, and it was 150. That's the difference between working with just a headliner that's super funny that nobody knows, and working with somebody famous like Screech.
Whether they're good or not.
Right.
You know what's crazy about that?
He was super good.
You know what's crazy about that is you guys are like, man, 150, 250 people, sold out crowd. Wow, that's a huge show. Like, man, like if you're a musician, 250 people is a bad night.
That's crazy.
Like you may not get booked again if if the whole bill, because there's 4 bands.
Yeah.
There's 20 people on stage that night.
Wow.
On average. Well, 16 to 20, because 4 to 5 band members, right? So between all of you, you only got 250 people. That's a bad night.
Yeah.
That's an empty club.
Right.
Unless the club only holds 180 people.
Right.
And then you killed it. Right.
But yeah.
But it's just that fucking I can't get over this. Like, I can't get over the fact that you guys are like, man,
that's
crushed
so many
300 people.
Yeah. That's
sold
insane.
It out, man, 300 people. And I'm like
that's the House of Comedy. 100 people, and I was like, "Oh, this is good."
I wonder if I really get up on stage as a comedian, if I'm gonna understand and appreciate that. So if I'm gonna look at 150 person sold out comedy club, like I just sold out a 1,500 person music club, or if I'm just never gonna or if I'm gonna be desensitized to it. Am I someday gonna open for a guy like a Screech? Where we sell out 150 people and I walk up and I crush and he crushes, he's high on adrenaline. Am I going to sit there and go, it's still only 150 fucking people, dude? Like, I've literally played for 10 times this many people.
I think once you hear, the building that you're in and you hear the laughter that you're getting, I think that'll do it for you.
I've always said this to people. I've said, I love being on stage. I love finishing a song and you and the fucking crowd goes,
yeah,
and you can feel it in your chest.
Oh man,
it's an adrenaline rush. However, I've tried to explain this to people. There is no other feeling that can possibly describe when in between songs I drop the right punchline and I get 1,500 people to laugh.
All right, you have that huge crowd that doesn't expect
1,500 people.
They
all
don't
laughing.
Expect you to be funny either. And then once you are, they're laughing. That's
dude. My best one, and I'm not going to burn this bit, but I've mentioned this moment many times. My best moment, and this is where because I had already decided I was going to start fucking with comedy.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna write a bunch of bits in advance. All the bits I wrote died, bombed.
Yeah.
And then I improv'd this one joke. Because I realized there was a bunch of people in the back of the room having some sort of retirement party. And we were doing a metal show on the other side of the room.
Right.
So I started fucking with those people in the back of the room. And same thing, dude. There's probably maybe 100, 150 people there that are actually to watch the show.
Yeah.
But when my band goes up, there's 18 people in the crowd. The rest of them are all hanging out in back, sitting outside smoking. They're not there to see our band. They're here to see the headliner.
Right.
But luckily, we were there. We got invited to the show, and we did have people come check us out and shit, but they weren't there for us.
Right.
So I'm dropping my jokes. None of them are landing. So I start fucking with the people in the back. And again, it was one of those moments where I dropped a fucking punchline, and I literally could see the back of the room. So it's not lit properly. Normally in a music club, or for the listeners, normally in a music club or a comedy club, you can really only see the first few rows.
Yep.
And then everything is a black abyss beyond that. However, the way this was lit is that the back of the room was completely lit up like a regular fucking restaurant.
It was like they only wanted you to not see the front and then the back.
Right. But because of the way they lit it, I could see every fucking human in the building.
Mm.
And it's a big building. And I'm telling you, dude, when I dropped this joke, there was still probably 350 people in the building, even though there's only 30 actually watching our show. 18 right in front of us.
Yeah.
So there's 18 here. There's another 12-ish on the peripheral. And then there's 320 or whatever
in the back
hanging out.
Yeah,
And when I dropped that one line, the whole fucking crowd laughed. Even the people in back laughed. A good laugh. And then I watched all of those people turn their chairs and watch our shitty band. It was great. It was great. And this was recent. This was last year, right before the summer before the COVID lockdown.
That's what I pride myself on.
2 years ago.
Okay.
Year and a half ago. Whatever. You know what I mean.
Is getting the attention. When you're doing a stand-up, and I feel like I got this down to a science.
Really?
When I was young, all right, I was shy and nervous and scared. I wanted to do comedy so bad, but I was terrified. I still am. But I was so scared, and I was so quiet into the microphone, and I realized, like, if a crowd is not paying attention, you would need to be quieter.
That's interesting.
I don't know what it is, but I like to whisper into the microphone, and people that are in the establishment, if you whisper and are being quiet, then they're like, oh, what?
Diaz talks about this.
What's happening?
Joey Diaz talks about this, the breathing.
Yeah, that he...
And then the punchline. Like, he sets it up, and then he go, and like he'll, and then he whispers the punchline.
Is that what
he talks about just like breathing, timing, like the volume of your execution. I've heard him talk about all of that.
I just feel like the quieter you are,
because it makes, and like he talks about,
and everybody then
the pauses,
has to listen,
right? Like you let that dead silence ride.
I do that too much, bro.
Like in a podcast and in music, we play with those things too, right? In podcasts, dead silences are bad radio. Right, it's bad radio.
Yeah.
So you never allow a long, dead, awkward silence in a podcast.
Right.
It's rule 1. But on stage, when you're doing music, we weaponize those dramatic pauses. So we'll go da-da-da-da-da-da, boom, 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 boom. Like you weaponize that silence.
Yeah,
comedians do that as well. So
that's what I do.
Like, and that's why I love talking to you, is because you're the only friend other than Wheeler I know that is like actually a comedian and does comedy, and we can talk about the similarities and the differences between music, and like we'll never reach the end of this barrel, which is why I love having you on over and over again, because it's like once we did that first podcast episode, we kind of told your story, and then you came on the second time, and now you're on again. It's like we can just continue these conversations for the next 5 years,
and it's gonna keep going on and on. It's never gonna end.
I'd love to get up on stage and start doing it, but I just know that if I do that, I'm going to be taking energy and time away from the podcast and the music, and that's I just can't risk it.
Once we find this balance, you'll be on.
I'll get there. I got some ideas.
Well, then
but I'm pretty sure I already know that I'm going to have to write like Joey Diaz and not like Joe Rogan. Like Rogan writes like you. They time the pauses. They know everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up being like Diaz, where I got to go up. I got to just riff off the top of my head. I got to record it, and then I got to go back and memorize everything that killed and get rid of everything that doesn't.
When I watch stand-up, that's my style. I like watching that. If I was in the crowd, I think I would like a more high-energy comedian.
Now I'm having chest pains. Oof.
It'll go away.
I don't think it's a heart attack. Don't worry, guys.
Do you smell burnt toast?
That's a sign of a burnt.
COVID. Burning. He died of COVID.
Do you smell burning feathers? You're having a stroke.
So back to this. We'll tell this Dustin story.
Yeah, let's tell the Dustin story. Let's tell the Dustin story or two, and then let's wrap it up.
Head out.
We're going to the comedy club tonight.
Yeah, and you guys are all coming with us.
Both of them. Both of you viewers.
Yep.
There's 2 people that have been watching this the whole time. There's been a bunch of people.
Megan can't come. She's working.
There's a bunch of people that have checked in, but there's 2 people that are actually watching this, and one of them's your girlfriend.
Yeah, she probably texted. But so we were in Eau Claire, Screech and I, and my friend Bob came. I think he drove me there. So actually, I was living in Duluth with my grandma at the time, and she's probably the other concurrent.
There you go.
So I was living with my grandma. All right, and my friend Bob came. He lived in Duluth. I lived in Superior, and he reminded me of this story. And it's pretty funny. So, he came, and I think at first I told him I was gonna drive, because his car was having problems. So I was like, no, just come over here. I'll drive us to go pick him up in Port Washington. So it's like probably a 6-hour drive from Superior to Port Washington. It's right by Green Bay. And so he comes over, and I was like, actually, I can't use my grandma's car. We have to take your car. I think I didn't have a car at that time. So we take his car to Eau Claire, and we get there. We had a hotel. We're hanging out, I don't know, for like an hour. Dustin, I don't know how he got there. He must have flew in or something. But this show was the absolute worst show that I did with Dustin. This crowd, entire time, they were chanting for Screech to come out. I was on stage, and they were literally chanting Screech. And it was the absolute worst time I ever had opening for him. So he comes on stage, and the first thing he said, this is where I realized, like, maybe he does have my back a little bit. He comes on stage, and he's like, you guys are the absolute fucking worst crowd I've ever seen. And he did maybe like 20 minutes of comedy that night.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything here. I got a couple texts.
Oh, no.
I don't really know why this person's texting me right now in the middle of a podcast with a novel, but
oh, shit. He did maybe like 20 minutes. That was always a big thing of his, is he would go on and short his time by like half.
Which is like, isn't that a sin?
Oh, that's bad. Yeah. And I'm not innocent on cutting time.
Really? I've done it in bands, but we do it in bands when we're having a bad night, when we're like, we finish a song and it's crickets. I just talked about this on a podcast a couple podcasts ago. Where you cut the cover, you cut your extra song. You're supposed to do 40 minutes, but you know what? Tonight we're doing 30 because no one wants us here.
Right.
We're just getting out, man.
That's the thing. So
but how do you pull that off with any respect or dignity as a headliner? Like, they're there to see you,
right?
Especially if they're chanting during the opener.
Deals after he got off stage. He would make deals with like the owner of the club, and he'd be like, "Sorry, I went short, but I'll hang out with you guys. Instead, I'll just make up my time by being here and signing autographs and, hanging out." And then the thing is that he would never give anybody his own phone number. He would give them mine. And then he would say things like, well, I'm just going to run out these pictures that I have back out to my car, and we'll be right back. And then we'd go outside, and he'd be like, no, we're dipping. So they would never have his phone number. They would blow up my phone, and I would have to shut my phone off and be like, what the fuck? Now I look bad.
What a douche.
That was a dick move, for sure. But then him and I would go and hang out and play video games and watch Regular Show. Did you ever watch that?
Mm-mm.
It's a good cartoon that we both enjoyed.
I probably shouldn't have poured this beer because we're getting ready to wrap this up.
No, we're fine. But that was the other story. So we were in Salina, Kansas. And that was where he, I think, it was the first time he told me to do 45 minutes. There was 15 people. This was a weird-ass show. Dustin always sold out all these places we went to, right? We go to Salina, Kansas, and there's 15 people at this show.
So just a random bad night.
It was a random dive bar. I don't know if they just didn't tell anybody. Nobody knew a comedy show was happening. It must have been just their regulars. He must have been just a rich owner.
That's the other thing that's really different about the music industry and comedy. You just reminded me of this. Is like, clubs don't really promote your shows in music. Like, if you don't draw, it's your fault.
Yeah.
even if you're out of town. So I book a show in Kansas City, and no one shows up. The club's like, what are you doing? Like, we made a huge mistake booking you. But when you're a comedian and you go to these other towns and nobody shows up, the industry goes, did they not promote? Like, it's their job to promote the show. Weird. Very interesting to me how that dynamic changes.
My question, too. So when I told you about my roommate in Duluth doing hip-hop, they would pay to have a spot on this show. Like, is it Crazy Bone? Is that Bone Thugs and Harmony? Crazy Bone?
That sounds right. Sure.
He was doing a show at Grandma's Sports Garden in Duluth, and Jesse was going on the show, and he had to pay like $75 for a spot on the show, like he was a stripper.
What?
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, dude.
Is that a thing?
In music, sort of.
Do you pay to go on stage? Like, comedians then are assholes.
Sort of.
Because we expect to get paid. But...
So yes and no. So, okay. So there is something called pay to play. And is what that means.
Is that what I need to do?
No. People in the music scene, it's not the way to do things. So
that's like LA. In LA, you got to bring 5 people.
Yeah, so in comedy you call them bringer shows.
Exactly.
In music, it's that kind of idea. Like, you got to sell, 50 tickets or 100 tickets or 200 tickets or whatever.
Right.
Sometimes you will get a shitty booker who, if you don't sell those 200 tickets, you don't go on that night.
Wow.
Those are rare. Usually is what it is they're just like, we need you to sell 200 tickets. And then when you fall short, you just fall short. And nothing happens. It is what it is. But that's not really pay to play. They're asking you to simply pre-sell tickets so they know that your shit's worth doing,
right.
Which is still just simply a shitty way of doing business in the music industry.
Lazy way.
It's a really shitty way to do business.
We're not going to do anything. You could at least put up signs.
We call it pay to play in the music industry.
Okay, that's fair.
But we're not actually paying somebody. You used to call, so if you're on the national level, though, there was something called a buy-in or a buy-on. And is what you would do is you would buy your way onto a tour. So I would pay Seven Dust not literally Seven Dust. They never did this,
right.
But I'm just using them because everybody knows that name. Like, you want to go on tour with Seven Dust, so you pay Seven Dust $5,000 or $7,500, and then you're the opener. That's how it works.
Damn.
That's not true for everyone. That's not how everyone does it. But
right.
that's what we call that pay to play.
Okay.
And the idea is, no, you're going to pay us $10,000. Because when we bring you in front of 30,000 people every night for 6 consecutive weeks, you should be able to make that $30,000 back plus a lot. And if you can't, then you don't know how to run a business, and that's not our problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, I can see that going both ways.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because the industry goes through cycles. So there was a while where that's how you got on tours. It was called a buy-on.
Oh.
And then there was a time where the industry shifted, and if you tried to buy your way on tour, you would actually be blackball yourself,
frowned upon.
Yep,
yeah.
and you would get put on a list of don't book these guys. They're just trying to buy their way into the industry. And then it went back to the other way, where it was like, nope, this is a buy-on tour. So I don't know, man. I don't know. There's no basically, it's who you're fucking with at that time and how they run their business.
And whether sounds you're willing about to fuck like stand-up. Yeah. That's crazy.
All right, dude, let's wrap this up. Where can people follow you?
You can follow me at Randy Ankarlo on Facebook or Instagram. I got rid of Twitter.
Nice. Smart move, dude.
Deleted that shit.
And I don't know why any of you would want to follow me on social media, but if you do, it's all Jared Singer Live. Wherever you're on social media, search Jared Singer Live. If it's not there, then I'm not on it. This is fun, dude.
This is great.
Ready to go to the club?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, man. We're going to the Terminal Bar. If you guys want to come hang out with us, we're going to the Terminal Bar. There's an open mic night. Randy's going to go up tonight. I'm not going up, but I'm going to be there hanging out. Come out to the Terminal Bar tonight. We're going there right after this.
Now.
Right meow. All right, buddy.
All right.
This is fun, dude. Thank you again, man. Thanks for coming, dude.
Thank you.